just a little different. Every night I see you out on the sound. I'm down to see.
Because I like to be that band that younger people who are coming up can look up and say, hey, like if they're doing it, we can do it. Because I actually had a friend, they ended up getting signed a couple years ago. He used to be in a metal band. And at one point, he was asking me, he's like, hey, how do you do it? And I was like, do what? We were at a party. I did not know what he was talking about. He brought this up out of left field. And he was like, be in a pop punk band, like sing in a pop punk band, do stuff that you know people here just aren't really into. Because at the time he was in a metal band, he's like, I'm in this band that admittedly I don't really like, but that's what the people like. That's what the people are coming to shows. That's the things that are selling out. That's the things that the promoters are looking for. Like, I'm taking the easy way out.
Right.
How are you like doing it, on your side? And I was like, honestly, I just do what means a lot to me and what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
And when I told him that, believe it or not, he started up a pop punk project and they went pretty well. He was signed to Hopeless Records for like a year or two, like an album cycle.
Oh,
And I don't know what happened to him now. He moved to LA and he's a producer. But the same thing I told him years ago, the same thing I'll tell you now is that it's always been a struggle. It's always going to be hard to do something that other people aren't doing. But if it means a lot to you and you're passionate about it, I do think that'll shine through. And I do think people will actually give you the representation for that, as long as you can be genuine across all platforms and show people that like that is your authentic self and you're not just doing it for the clicks, or you're not just doing it for the fame, you're not just clout chasing, you're doing it because like you really do believe in this. As human beings, we can do whatever we set our minds to. I truly believe in that 100%.
no, you and me both. The yeses are that much more significant when you get them after you've battled 1,000 no's.
100%.
Let's talk the band name because it's super cinematic. It kind of it's like a breakup playlist and like a scandal
Yeah.
all in one. Where did it come from?
This is actually a really funny story. So I started playing music right into high school, like junior, senior year. I didn't really take it seriously until after that. We were doing music and trying to do something, and I was just coming up with all these names. And we had a bunch of crap. I mean, like a bunch of crap. But I had this word, and I was like, what if it was like dangerous, like something dangerous? And I don't know what it was, but in my head, it was just like a dangerous this, a dangerous this, a dangerous affair. And I was like, oh my God, I got to tell him about this. He ended up falling in love with it. And then pretty much every band name that we were like sure we were going to go with went down the drain. And we pretty much crossed them all out. And that's when I knew if we can cross out 5 maybes for one band name, this is probably the band name. It's not really from a story or anything like that. It's just more something just like I'm a lyricist. And I was like, what's going to be the most eye-catching and ear-catching name that I could possibly come up with that would look good on paper?
Okay. Your EP, Bringing Out the Beast to Me, was super raw. I listened to the whole thing. What emotional space were you in when you made that?
Okay, this I can get a lot more deep into because this is actually something that I was in a really weird place. So we recorded it in 2019 because obviously we released it 2020, just a month before COVID. So rewinding probably like 6-9 months to a year previous, I had just gone through one of the worst breakups in my life, maybe even still to this day, one of the weirdest, longest lasting, in and out, kind of like trivial to like my emotional space kind of thing. Because since then, I've gone through a couple bad ones, but I've learned from that one. Like your first is always the hardest. Sometimes you're getting along well, and the next thing you're cussing each other out, and it's like, where did we come from with all this? And I was going through a lot of that and feeling really just kind of depressed about like, damn, like I don't feel like I can do anything right. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's her. I don't know what's going on. I just feel like every day it's a new emotion and a new level of stress. So every single song has its own story. So starting out with the title track, Bringing Out the Beast in Me, I started off right there with like, hey, this is all about the familial stuff I've been through and some of the pure stuff I've been through, not getting accepted and people bringing out the worst in you and expecting you to be somebody you're not because they're putting you in all these positions that you could never flourish in, but you're continuously telling them that, hey, I would do better in this atmosphere and nobody cares.
Bringing out the beast in me, reinvent what eats at me now. When you're talking about what's bringing me down, now it's starting to get old, but I know now that I can get better if we can turn this around.
Leading directly into Falling to Pieces, which is honestly a very depressional track about suicidal thoughts and about how things aren't always as easy as they seem. And so that's really all about how like the beginning of the track is very poppy and very 21 Pilots, like, hey, I'm singing about negative stuff, but I'm doing it in a very poppy, catchy manner. And then at the end, when it breaks down, it's just like, I fucking give up. Like, I'm done. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, and that's kind of one of those things that I was like, you know what? Let me just get really real with the people. If never more than one time, at least right here. Got strung out. That one's basically exactly about the breakup. There's not much more to that. That one's just about a breakup and getting over the breakup and trying to deal with the breakup and trying to deal with someone who you used to love and you've fallen out of love with and now you're just fighting all the time. It's pretty much all in the title. So if you're waiting for the perfect time, it may never come. I wrote that song literally about the title, about how sometimes it's hard to jump, it's scary to jump. But at times, you know, you just have to because it may not feel like the right time, but any time is the right time if you're ready for it. And just to end it all off, you're going to miss me. Super self-explanatory as well. That situation of like, if anything does happen, like if I ever leave the scene or I can't play music, I like to think that people are going to miss me. And it's like, hey man, you missed your chance to really get on board while you could have, and that really hurts me, and I'm sure that really hurts them too. It's all different variations of stuff I was going through at that time, I guess.
I ever made something. You're gonna miss me. Are you with me? Can you hear me now? You're gonna miss me. Are you listening when I tell you about how you just tear me up when you feel broken?
As a new listener, I kind of feel behind because I'm looking at Spotify listeners from Australia. There's some in Colorado and like other parts of Texas. So I'm wondering how COVID like did affect you guys trying to bring out the beast in me.
Oh, it did totally. So we had spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this release, and to put it in perspective, we had never spent over 1,000 before on our career. So this was like a really big jump for us, and we were very excited and very confident in our abilities and our tools and the people on our team. I mean, we have the best team, honestly, in the world. At that, we still do have one of the best teams in my mind. We can get anywhere with these people, but what sucks is that like you could spend the most money and you could be with the best team and shoot, you could be the best vocalist, guitarist, drummer, and bassist. It's not going to matter because the world could change at any point in time, and that's going to redirect like your focus and what you need to do and your opportunities and objectives as a band.
I mean, you've said it before that it's not just about music, like you're really passionate about it. And so can you remember a time that you could have really used that extra dose of confidence from someone in the industry and you just didn't get it?
Um, this is only one example, but it's one that hurt the most because I was in studio with someone that at the time I had really trusted. We don't work with them anymore, so it's not an issue. When we were doing Falling to Pieces, I was telling you just a moment ago that there's a part in our song that goes, okay, okay, you'll say I'm okay. Very catchy. But if you listen to lyrics, it's okay, you'll say I'm okay. The end is don't worry, is what they all say. It's like everyone's like, don't worry about me, he'll be okay. No matter if I'm okay or not, it's the perspective of everyone around me. He's okay, don't worry about him. I'm tired of keeping this wall up. I'm ready to bring it down, and I'm ready for you guys to see me at full mast who I actually am. And if you can't accept that, that's fine. But this is who I am, and this is how I feel. And I'm tired of having to mask that for the sanctity and the safety of the people around me. And that's when I was like, let's just go heavy and show them that even the most beautiful things can be ugly. Even the most beautiful rose has thorns.
So I'm going to move on to the 2004. I was watching the video for The Secrets We Keep. I really like the overdraft notice being delivered to the door. Did you expect the fan reaction to be as big as it was?
No, I actually I did that as a joke. Like that was something that I was like, hey, we're a pop punk band. I don't want to take ourselves too seriously because I was like, we're coming out with new material. We have new members. We have a new, like, everything was new. I was like, let's be new. Let's be funny. Let's be
Yeah.
relatable. Let's be, let's be larger than life here. So like, oh, life sucks. How bad does it suck? It sucks so bad you got fired and you're broke. How are we going to showcase that? And I was like, I'm just going to print this all on big, bold red letters, and I'm just going to deliver two really bad news bears to this guy right one after the other. Why? Because it's humorous, and that's what bands that I love would have done. Like, you don't think I've had money problems? You don't think I have problems with my job? In fact,
Yeah.
I hate my job right now. Legitimately, not the dangerous affair job, but the 9 to 5 job that I currently have. I hate that job, and it's
But
like
when you
I'm
have to
just
put
like everybody else.
No, I get it. I get it. I mean, the line that, and I'll never live another day unless I follow this one through.
Giving up on everything to have my shot with you, and I'll never live another day unless I follow this one through.
Like, repeat, repeat. I just keep replaying it because it just, it's like medicine sometimes listening to. And I know you guys don't even have, like, I've listened to everything, it seems like 50 times already. Um, but it's seriously like a really big dose of medicine. It's so true.
Yeah, I honestly will say that that's one of the most pure things I've heard in a very long time, and that actually does like keep me going because that's when I wrote that song and I wrote those lines. I always dreamed someone would tell me that, so this is kind of like
Well, it is.
check mark, dream come true. I love that because that's how I felt, and I was like, if anyone ever feels this way, I hope it helps them. So the fact you're like repeat, repeat, I do that with bands I love all the time. So I'm like, if I'm becoming that even a portion of a sample size to somebody else, my dreams are accomplished. All I ever wanted to do is make an impact and help people, and that is what I felt like that song was about. Is like, hey, like you are never going to feel like you're really living if you don't actually try your hardest on what you actually want to do. You can sit down and watch TV after work every day, or you can get on the grind and make it happen.
Yeah.
And that's what that was.
Well, and then with Candy Coated Picture Perfect, it's like part of it's catchy, but it's so emotional at the same time. And there's like, if when people watch the video, that I hope that they do, you have this director guy trying to make sure that the band's vibes right, which just makes it so funny and also relatable that you're not like you have to look sad.
Candy Coated. No, that was a different song than what it was supposed to be. So if I'm being honest with you, that was a product of me obsessing about notes and riffs and lyrics and words and vibes and tones and melodies and the key and the root note, like everything. Because I changed almost everything when we got in the studio. We went to the guys the next day and they're like, okay, so what's the next song? And I showed them, and they're like, okay. And I was like, but wait. And I was like, I've been listening to this song for at this point probably over 16 hours. I was like, I think I want to change this, and I want to do this, and I want these lyrics to say this, because Candy Coated was never a part of that song. Like Candy Coated Picture Perfect, those lines were never even in that song when we took it in the studio.
I can show you a candy coated dream. Is this all a lie? Or can this really be? I can show you a picture perfect scene. Watch it pass you by without knowing what it means.
But I spent like an ungodly amount of time just refining it to what I feel like we needed to be. So once we got down a lot of the rhythm and the drums and the bass and guitar, I had all these leads, and I was like, hey, I want you guys to help me pick through these. And they're like, these are the vibes we feel like, but how about they went home and we stayed in the lodge next to the studio. They're like, how about you guys stay over tonight in the studio and you guys just work on these guitar riffs and just try to tell us what you guys have tomorrow for ideas. I made it about the same topic, but I did it in such a more pretty commercial kind of way that I'll say that the commercial success of that song is solely based on the fact that I obsessed about it for so long because I didn't think it was ready. You know what I mean?
So I only have one last question for you. And again, I seriously thank you for even taking my call and taking the time to talk to me. Okay, so you're...
Yeah, thank you, by the way, first of all, before you thank me, thank you for even giving me the opportunity, honestly.
No, of course. Like I said, I'm a fan. I can't wait for more. I'm gonna see you in a show one day. I'm gonna get, if you press something, I'm going to buy that. So I have a bunch to look forward to as a fan. You know that you're getting active listeners. You know that
Mm-hmm.
the fans that you're getting are becoming loyal. What is a realistic goal for finishing this year out for you guys?
I'm glad you said that because this is going to be me talking out loud and talking to you at the same time because it's not often I get a chance to look to the future. I'm very much here in the now and what needs to be done today and tomorrow and this week. So it's kind of freeing to give myself the ability to be like, wow, like what could we accomplish this year? Because there's so many things. I would say in just 2 weeks, we've went up just 1,000 monthly listeners alone. So I would love, I don't want to, you know what? I'm going to say it. I'd love to be at 10,000. No, I'm serious. I'd love to be at 10,000 monthly listeners
Yeah.
before Christmas. And I will caveat to one last thing. You brought up Alice Cooper. Probably a really good time for me to bring up this shameless self-promotion. We're actually top 15 bands to win the Rolling Stone Award, which Alice Cooper is like one of the big dudes that's doing it. To win this, what's it called? America's Next Top Hitmaker. We just hit top 15 yesterday, actually. So next week will be top 10, then top 5, and then I think just number 1. But we're first place overall. So let's put it that way. That's the one way we make sure both of those things get done this year. Let's make sure that happens as much as we possibly can. But yeah, for sure, that's our hopes and dreams is to always be around, to always be relevant, to always be important to our fans.
Thank you again for taking the time to talk to me. Like, I love everything that you guys are doing. I'm so excited for what's going to happen next, and thank you.
Oh, for sure. Thank you. Honestly, I appreciate the outlet because, I mean, there's a lot of these things that I don't get to talk about. You have some exclusives on stuff that I'm like, I haven't even thought about this in years. No one's asking the right questions. So it's kind of cool to get to revisit those and honestly, just to see the growth that I've been going through for the last few years, because it is really easy to just get stuck in the mud of the now.
Yeah.
And it's like, you take a glance back in the past, you take a glance at the future, there's some really cool things to come, not just for us, but for everybody. And I think in the nitty gritty of today's society, it's important to see where you came from and where you're going. And I think that's really refreshing, not only for you to hear, but for me to be able to be a part of the process as well, because it is really helpful, especially with my artist brain, to remember that that's still relevant.
Absolutely.